Okay, so welcome back to this video, which I think will be probably the last video of the quantitative lab, where we're going to learn how to calculate the correlations between the variables. So to do that, let's go to analyze and then go to correlate and then go to bivariate. So we are going to calculate the bivariate correlations. And here, what we are going to do is to add all the variables that we want to check their correlations to. So because of that, I will probably not add a student ID number, because remember, student ID number doesn't tell me anything. But for me, it's important, I think actually super important, to check if grade is correlated with hours of study or with a studying group or with work and with mail, and if they are correlated also in between, like for example, mail and work, studying group and work, blah, blah, blah. And here you have to take a decision. Are you going to use Pearson correlation or Spearman correlation? So as I said in the lecture, like depending if it is going to be a parametric or non-parametric test, you use Pearson or Spearman, but I would prefer to use Pearson correlation in most of the cases, because most of the cases we assume normal distribution. Then you go for two-tailed as well, and then you click OK. I think most of the time you don't change anything, just make sure that you have Pearson correlation. It is possible that maybe you go for the other type of correlation, but that's something that you should check with your supervisor when you are doing it. I think for the practices that we are doing, we will assume all the time normal distribution, and then and you're going to check if it is normal, and then you can use Pearson. So then click OK, and then you have the table of correlations, and it is a bit tricky to read it because it has a lot of things in there. But what matters the most is this, the Pearson correlation coefficient. I told SPSS to already gave me like the stars in here to highlight which are the correlations that are stronger. You can ignore this part of the, I don't even know why they include it, but you can ignore this part because it's exactly like a mirror, right? Like this is exactly like this is exactly like this is like this. So you can focus only in one side of the table, and this will always be one. Why? Because grade with weight with grade with grade is perfectly correlated, is the same variable, right? Like grade is the same as one, grade is one. And here it's interesting that grade and hours of study per week is almost perfectly correlated, again, on real. So it's 0.995. So you can see from the correlations table that this variable is going to explain a lot about the grade. Okay, you can see it from early on. Then you move to the next one. Then you also have the stars in here. So that means that there is high correlations. You have a significance of less than 0.001. Again, here in the significance, you are looking for numbers below 0.1. So the same as in the regression. Also, you are looking for less than 0.1. But these stars will help you to identify the important correlations. So also studying a group is going to affect the grade, I think it says, right? Then work, not really. And again, that confirms the finding from here and the finding from the t-test. So that's something that I really like from quantitative research, that most of the time you do it again in a different way, and then you confirm the result. So we confirm from this that hours per study, and here that hours per study affect the grade. We also confirm this. And then we also confirm that work and mail do not affect, especially mail. We also confirm here it doesn't affect, and here in the t-test it doesn't affect. So as I said, that's why I think like the t-test sometimes is not that needed, because you already had in here from the correlations, and you already also have it if you add that variable in the regression model. But anyway, the correlation, I think the correlation table, I don't know why I did it like this in the lab. Maybe it's my mistake, because I will suggest you to do some t-test first to check if there is significance in the different means that you have in your variables. That maybe that's the first thing that you can do, the t-test. Then do the correlations, because maybe the correlations can give you a hint of what's going on. And finally, theoretically, set the hypothesis, and that will guide you to set the regression models that you want to test. So I hope that after this video recorded lab, you know and you learn first how to input the data in SPSS, then how to calculate some descriptive statistics, how to graph some of that data that you already have. And in these two things, I hope that I also give you tools to judge if your variables behave with if your variables have normal distribution. Then I hope that you learn how to do an t-test. Then I hope that you learn how to do a regression with one variable or with more than one variable. And sixth, that you learn how to do a correlations table. So those are the objectives of the quantitative lab. So I hope that you know how to do it, that you know how to interpret them. And again, as always, if you have a question, let me know by email or in the lectures, and then I will be happy to help you. So that's pretty much everything. That just want to finish saying that what you have to do, again, I'm repeating myself all the time, is to do the quiz. That's the first thing that you need to do the quiz, and then do the report that you need to submit. Okay, so for the report, you need to do some practice on SPSS and then write a report and upload in Canvas. But that's pretty much everything. Okay, well, see you in the lecture.